Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video. Today I'm doing a video on my thoughts on the How to Train Your Dragon 3 trailer. I've only seen the trailer like twice, so if I miss things, sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, I think as a franchise, I think it's as fantasy-esque as I go, really. I'm not a massive fan of like Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and Game of Thrones. I only watched the one episode, so. But sorry if that pisses people off or anyone watching this. Sorry about that. But but you know, at the end of the day, I'm not going out of my way to dislike these things. They've never really connected with me in the same way as science fiction-y stuff. But as I said, this is fantasy-esque, and it's probably as close as I get, as I said before, to fantasy stuff, that and maybe fantasy things in Doctor Who, I guess, so the Stephen Moffat era pretty much. And but yeah, I think it'll be really interesting to see this film at some point, regardless of where I see it, or how I see it even, because I really do like the first two off the top of my head, and that, and yeah, because like, the animation's so good, it's like, I often forget it's actually DreamWorks and not Disney. It's that good level of quality, and that. But yeah, it's strong enough that it's got its own Netflix original, I think, TV show as well, and or spin-off sort of thing. And as I say, the animation's really good. The music in the films as well is surprisingly really good as well. Like, I think they have their own music composery person working on that and stuff like that. And they kind of intertwine both the emotional stuff and the comedy, emotion, and action-adventure sort of fantasy nature of the world. All of those elements are blended and meshed together really well, to be honest, to obviously make the end product of the film. And I think in this one, hopefully, that's no different. They seem to be... They're definitely... The one major thing that they're definitely adding that's new is the light... what was it? Something like the light night wraith or something like that. I can't remember. Like, Toothless, the dragon is a certain type of dragon, and I can't remember off the top of my head what the hell he is. But he's like said to be like the last, but in the trailer, so this isn't a spoiler. Hiccup's girlfriend says something like, "Oh, and this character's like, oh my god, like the light version of the night wraiths or whatever," and that. So that's pretty cool. That's going to be interesting. Hiccup as a character as well, he seems to have evolved and aged as well, like a lot. Like, he's got a beard, which is weird, to say the least, because it just looks weird. And that, off the top of my head, I can't remember any other characters off the top of my head in animated films that have like beards or anything off the top of my head, but because I can imagine the hair is quite difficult to animate actually, so props to them and the animation team for doing that, I guess. As well as Hiccup, he looks pretty cool, like in his armour as well. Like, I've always liked that, although it looks in some respects so bland in some videos that I've ever seen of like Comic-Con-y montage videos when people have cosplayed him. Like, I've always got confused and just assumed that it's like something from like Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter or something, like, I don't know, like, or Game of Thrones or something, because it just sort of looks so similar. It's to armour and that, but that's not on their fault, the people behind this. But then there's like there's this bit where they go through this like canyon and cavern of like with these weird light things that are orange, and Hiccup, Toothless and his girlfriend are all like gliding through that, and it looks interesting to me because it kind of reminded me of Coco, the animated film by Disney, because of the lights, the orange lights, and the way it looked, and it also kind of reminded me, get this, of James Cameron's Avatar, because that looked very visually striking in the forest bit at the beginning-ish, or middle-ish bit. Can't remember if it's beginning or middle, I haven't seen that film in ages. But, I mean, I have it on DVD, of course, but as I said, I just haven't seen the film in ages. But, either way, yeah, the, kind of reminds me of that in its way it was shot, and also the sort of artistic brightness of it, which is great because obviously it's a predominantly kids film, and granted I'll be watching it at some point, so you know, swings and roundabouts. So yeah, is it a kids film? I don't know, but either way, yeah, it looks interesting, and that it should be fun. One criticism, big criticism and glaring issue that I probably have with this film, and probably it as a franchise, is that the villains, people say the Marvel villains are very weak and not that interesting or developed or unique. Man, the villains in these films are just terrible. Like, they're just so boringly bland. Like, they're always the same as, like, oh, we're just gonna capture the dragons again. I think the second one, spoiler alert, but if you haven't seen the second How to Train Your Dragon, the interesting thing there was, like, at first you suspected that one of the people who was later turns good was actually a bad guy, and I think that's been one of the bigger sort of things that the franchise has done as a whole, off the top of my head. But yeah, I mean, it looks like they're going to close off, obviously, this trilogy, and I'm kind of worried that they're just going to, I don't know, like, be cornered and trapped into having to kill off both, or most of the characters, or like Hiccup and Toothless, or just Toothless, or whatever. But either way, if they do kill off any of those characters, it'll probably be very emotional, and yeah, I'd rather them not die. But then again, yeah, I mean, it'd be kind of ironic and kind of ballsy if they did, because I'm thinking about those two over there, and I've got the DVDs over there, and I'm thinking, like, in the Matt Smith era and in recent eras or recent memory, not many people die in Doctor Who, and yet the idea that main kids film, animated kids film that, yeah, would be aimed at young people, young kiddos, would actually kill off the main character and the dragon and whatnot, and two people, the main character and like his pet and all, sidekick and best friend, would be funny in the sense that, just for the fact that, like, in Doctor Who we wouldn't get that though, and yet that's live action, aimed at a family audience, you know, it's like, what? But yeah, as I said, in the movie, music really is something else to hold than that, and Toothless seems to be in the trailer as well, sort of trying to get this other female dragon's attention, and he keeps just doing loads of dumb stuff, which is kind of funny, I guess. I mean, it kind of grated on me a little bit, but after a while it was, yeah, here and there a bit funny, I guess. But yeah, should be good, fun, and I hope it does well at the box office. And yeah, thanks for watching, comment, rate and subscribe.